Good evening. It is a Tuesday night at 7 p.m. It can only mean one thing. Tonight we have a very special show, as it is our end of season awards. Joining me, as always, the very witty and not very quick Robbie Henry.
Definitely agree with that, mate. Do you know how good it is? Like, 'cause obviously last week I had to do the intro. How good it is just sitting here, like, not having to kind of, what am I saying? Oh no, it's done now.
Yeah,
it is a joy to behold. But very much looking forward to this episode. Very much not having to think about Carson Wentz or Frank Reich. One thing we'll say, after today's session, I'm not discussing our QB situation until April. I'm having 4 months off about talking about our QB situation after tonight.
And we'll start that on April the 1st.
Absolutely. It's let me just retweet what you just sent. Beautiful.
So for those of you that didn't see or don't know, we put out a little survey for our end of season awards. Did we decide on, was it league wide in the end, or was it?
No, this is just for the Colts. We'll do another one.
Okay.
So maybe Super Bowl week we'll do one for the whole of the league.
Yeah. So this was just for Colts specific personnel. Before we start, end of season recap. Wildcard weekend just went. It was nice just watching football as a neutral.
Yeah. It's great not having to have that stress or, we've got these in a couple of weeks. But then again, there was so much bad football still played. I'm not a big fan of wildcard weekend. I think the playoffs should be cut down just to have better quality. I don't like when the Football World Cup, expands to 32 teams and that first few rounds it's just a bit pants. It's just there to make money, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we're starting to see who's going to kind of start pushing it. I was impressed with the Rams, Bills. I said when we had that chat a couple of weeks ago, I thought the Bills were going to go all the way. Nice to see. I'm a big fan of the Steelers' defense, but it's nice to see their offense and Eric Ebron get out of here. So that was nice. What did you make of it?
Yeah, it was nice to watch. I love Bruce Arians, Super BA. He's done the impossible, and he's made me not hate Tom Brady.
I was thinking if we were going to come on to Tom or not.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk forever about him, but just from the last Super Bowl, and we saw a little bit of personality come out, and he wasn't just this machine of fence-sitting answers and media polished answers and an animatronic, basically. And he's pissed up like a proper dad falling over, throwing the Lombardi across a river.
Exactly that.
Yeah, just like, get on.
So, are we allowed to like him?
We're allowed to respect him.
I like to go against the grain, and anyone can. I like the guy.
Yeah.
I'd love just to go and chill out in his back garden and have a barbecue with him.
God, yeah. So yeah.
But I won't be buying any of his merchandise. It's just more as he had an advert this week. Like, he's got his own clothing range, and I'll be staying clear of that though.
I do think the Rams are getting bigged up. But when you've invested so much into a team, they are going Super Bowl wobbles this year, you can tell. If they don't win it this year, it could leave them quite messy next year.
Oh, definitely. But they did last time when they was there, 2 or 3 years ago. They had this big kind of all-star team, and kind of they had a couple of people come and go, and they're doing it again. It's just good to see. And the next round, I feel like we get screwed again by the scheduling and the timings. But it is what it is. What we got? We've got the Titans, the early game on the Saturday, and then Bucks Rams early game on the Sunday would be good. But Chiefs Bills midnight on the 23rd, that would be the one I'd want to see in our prime time as such.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. And we just got to appreciate that we actually get to see some more football, because this time next month we'll be running out of games.
And let's be honest, we're all Cincy fans heading into the next round.
Absolutely. Joe Burrow and his cigars.
Yeah, Joey B. Anyway, the season, I'm back on the train. I've had my little depression. We got through the 5 stages of grief.
Doesn't sound like it. I think you're doing that kind of rationale, like that unsure stage.
I'm never rational. I'm an Arsenal fan. 17-9 is, I reckon we do it.
I'm on board.
I think what people need to get over is Wentz is our quarterback next season. It doesn't make sense to throw away more picks and more players, or I've seen some stupid suggestions, and I mean stupid.
This isn't Madden. This is real life NFL.
Yeah, and we've got a couple of we recouped a couple of picks in the 5th round, I think, because of Anthony Walker. But we all know we don't draft in the 1st round. Chris Ballard doesn't do 1st round draft picks. He doesn't like it. Look at the 2nd round. That's where we draft.
Exactly. That's where we're strong. But, we went over it a couple of weeks ago, how many round 1 quarterbacks and where they are in the last 10 years. And,
And you would say this draft class, I've not heard anything about anyone standing out in particular as being the next best thing. And that's
college ball.
That's very unusual for this time of year.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'd sniff my nose at a 1st round pick this year, but it'd be nice.
Edge rush.
No. But so here's my question. Okay, we can talk more about this in the off season because I want to get to the awards. With the Colts having such a big cap space this year, we're top 10 in projected cap space. Who is the easiest to pick up in free agency? Left tackle, edge rush, wide receiver. Oh, and who do we go for in free agency?
Wide receiver, because there's so many. That's the easiest to get. If you want to pay money, you'll get an edge rusher.
Mm-hmm.
And then left tackle is just down to availability. Who's out there? I haven't actually looked at it yet. You see so much rubbish on Twitter. Just look at the quarterback. Let's go get Derek Carr. Let's go get X. Let's go. Well, they're not available yet. Let's kind of.
I don't see how Derek Carr is any level above Wentz. I really don't. But people like Russ Wilson, Rodgers, Brady, but even Kyler Murray, people got
looked awful. Awful against the Rams. What do you reckon the Eagles feel like after they get to the playoffs and they get absolutely bad?
What, you mean they actually came up against a decent team?
Jalen Hurts doesn't look like a baller to me. He doesn't look like an improvement on Carson. He doesn't look like an improvement on Carson to me.
This is the scary thing with that is, granted, I tweeted some things about fire some people, and I was upset.
We were grieving. We were grieving.
Yeah.
Tom,
yeah.
I'm not having a rapist.
Talk about rapist. Big Ben retired.
Right.
Well,
I was thinking about it, like, for all his accolades, 2 Lombardis, 18 years, whatever it is. No one ever talks about him in the NFL. Like in the NFL, like it's not like he's hated, but he's just not loved. He's not ever talked about.
I mean, it depends if there's anything that stands to them charges that were thrown his way, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I could get political on this show, but I'm not going to. But if you look at the way Deshaun Watson has been treated compared to Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah, no, it's totally different.
Yeah. But anyway, what was the question before?
Don't know, but Tom, I don't want, unless he gets if he gets cleared and proven that he's not a rapist or he's not a sex offender, then yeah. But if there's even a slight inkling, because he is a talented quarterback, he can get you 10 wins, but not under those conditions. And Ballard wouldn't sign anyone like that as well. I don't think. He's looking for high character guys, and obviously it's all speculation, but there's not usually smoke without fire, is there?
So yeah, I'm pretty sure Fluce is probably gone. I'm pretty sure he will be a head coach. Yeah. I have my thoughts about Fluce. I think it's a defense made of great players rather than great coaching.
Absolutely.
Frank Reich, people think because of what I said, I've got some hatred for Frank Reich, or I think he's a bad coach. No, I love Frank Reich, but we can't keep starting slow. We can't keep being 1-5, 2-4. We can't. When in a winning situation, I just saw no fire on the sideline. I saw no passion, and that's what irritated me.
Yeah.
He's created a great locker room and a great culture, and it's team first. But at some point, he's got to start being harsh to be kind, if that makes any sense. But year 2, baby, with Carson, let's go.
I'm on board, mate. Right, should we do these?
Yep.
These awards, right? So, first question: Coach of the Year. Who are you voting for, buddy?
There's only one. It's got to be, for me anyway. It's BUBBA VENTRONE.
Well, you are the voice.
We got something from Tom. Just sign more playmakers. I mean, yeah, I could get into how important the wide receiving call's been this year. But
we will get onto that over the off season, right? So so you're going BUBBA. You are the voice of the Coltsnation.
Yes. With
50% of the votes, BUBBA VENTRONE.
BUBBA VENTRONE. Wow.
I should have done it. I should have done third, second, first, which we'll do going forward. James Rowe, the cornerbacks coach, comes third with 16%. Matthew Eberflus Esquire also with 16%. So we've got BUBBA, Eberflus, and James Rowe for Coach of the Year. Frank Reich managed to get 5%.
He's see, and this is what I mean. Your head coach should not be getting 5% of the votes, and if that's he doesn't fill the Coltsnation with confidence, obviously. So yeah, I'm shocked Fluce is above him because we put up 30 odd points on offense, I think nearly every game. So I don't know about that one, but
hey, the people have spoken. On to the offensive player of the year.
Well, there's offensive player of the year.
Yeah,
there's only one, mate, in this, JT, surely. 2
for 2, my man. So, with 100% of the votes for the offensive player of the year, it's Jonathan Taylor. 100%. This is the only question that only saw one answer with 100%.
100%, man.
Yep.
Just
right.
Let's talk a little bit about JT, because I want to spread this out.
What I'm actually speechless. The increase he's had from year 1 to year 2. He was dropped week 4 or 5 of last season. Williams come in for a few. And he was kind of didn't really hit form. But this year, if it wasn't for him being the bell cow, wasn't being the playmaker, wasn't being that impact,
we would have been in trouble.
Like we'll be giving the Eagles a very good first round pick. Yeah. At times the offensive line have looked, stable then unstable. But it's the fact for me, what I love about JT is that when he hits contact, he's still picking up yards after.
He's like with that. He's a weird combination of like a Frank Gore type who can just bulldoze through people. And he can get you 6 yards, but then he makes probably the best run-stopping linebackers look silly in the A-gap. Yeah. If you just, it'd be a perfect he'd be a perfect number 8 in rugby union.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he? That just sort of athleticness. And we actually saw some scrum-like plays from Frank Reich where it was a handoff to JT, and then you got Wentz coming in behind, pushing and over the line. And when you can be this good with a run-first offense in a passing league, jeez.
And do you know, I can think of 2 times where I think it was Hines with one spill. I think Mac might have had the other, where then he's then jumped on it as well. So you know, he's been that catalyst, and it might have been Wentz made one of the spills, but you know, his football IQ's there, and for a young running back, you know, it's absolutely devastating. You know, and he gets this. You know, he's made All Pro, he's made the Pro Bowl. You know, there's not really much else you can kind of give him.
Is he 23? I believe.
Not even that, I don't think.
22, 23, something like that.
I think. Let me have a look. The Indianapolis Colts. According to Wikipedia, he's 22. Just turned. Oh no, he's 23 tomorrow. Happy birthday, JT.
What a way to celebrate your birthday, winning the UK Colts fan Offensive Player of the Year.
Absolutely. Right. Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Very much. You are 2 for 2. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3.
I don't know if I'll be 3 for 3 on this one, because there's been quite a few standouts on defense. We've talked about him a lot on this show and about the role he's had to do stepping up since Anthony Walker's departure, and that's got to be Bobby Oy.
I am 110% on board with you, mate. For me, it was Bobby O.
Yeah.
However, in joint third, with 5.5% each, we had Rock, Kari Willis, and Isaiah Rodgers.
Wow.
For joint third. Isaiah Rodgers actually comes across quite a lot in this, so I don't know if he actually was doing it for himself. In second place with 11%, Kenny Moore. And with 72%, our partner in linebacker, Darius Leonard.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair enough. I've got no problems with that.
He's that big, like we know he was injured, you know, but he comes up with them big punches. He comes on with them big takeaways. You know, probably not as consistent from down to down, from play to play as he was the year before.
Yeah. But that's you've got to put that on injury, I think.
But you know, for what he does still, you know, Darius Leonard, Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, I can't remember how many forced fumbles it is that is caused. You know, they patented the peanut punch because of it. You know, people are carrying the ball different because of Darius Leonard. Yeah. I was a bit gutted. It didn't go the way we wanted the last game of the season. We just ran out of steam, but I love that guy. And, you know, for me, he is the best linebacker in the league. He walked, and how I judge that is he walks in to any other team's linebacking core and he's instant, you know. Probably the only sort of same energy that's rivaled him so far or brought that same heat as Darius is Micah Parsons. I'm excited to see what he can do next year. I agree with that. Darius Leonard is a cornerstone.
Special Teams Player of the Year, Bubba's Boys.
Bubba's Boys, I like that.
Who are you going for, mate?
It's got to be a tough one. For me, it's got to be Luke Royds, because to be honest, I hadn't heard of him until the Pro Bowl. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even know he was on our team.
Mate, he's a former linebacker.
And you know what they say, former linebacker turn long snapper equals Pro Bowl. Yeah, no, like I say, I genuinely didn't even know about the guy. Maybe you could put an argument for Rigoberto Sanchez, but yeah.
Okay, so in third place with 16%, we have Luke Rhodes. 27% in second place, EJ Speed.
Yeah.
And winner of the Special Teams Player of the Year with 50%, Ashton Doolin.
Ashton Doolin. Wow, yes, of course. Also used to him being a wide receiver this year.
Yeah, doing a lot. You know, from the special teams, you know, for either kicker, well, three kickers not to get a mention was, I thought, was quite kind of showing of how game wrecking we've been when it comes to kind of turnovers, because you know we have had a lot of blocks. We've pinned people in at times, and it's been a, well, that's why Bubba Ventrone got 50% of the Coach of the Year votes.
Yeah.
You know, Luke Rhodes is a big one for me. You know, I think we said in the chat, you know, I said, oh, Luke Rhodes is out. You know, and that then following week, you know, Rigoberto's having to make 2 tackles, you know, because Luke Rhodes, he has his snap, because he's got that linebacker backing, you know, he knows how to take space up from the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so, you know, and it's good, you know, I think there's a few people that, you know, we was talking about people like Glasgow, who obviously shows up week in, week out. You know, Isaiah Franklin obviously does a lot. Isaiah Rogers does a lot. I think we still need to get our kick return and punt return sorted.
Yeah.
Or may I say, let's get Hines away from it.
Yeah, you shouldn't be doing it. Not as the 2 running back, but when you haven't got a receiving call, you know.
Yeah. But at least it wasn't TY again.
Yeah.
It used to scare the hell out of me. Right, let's move on to Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year.
Now this was a hard one for me, because I don't really feel
we've not a standout class, really, have we?
No one really turned up. And in fact, we had one person vote for no one.
That's fair enough.
Yeah, which is, you know, they're entitled to their opinion. So, Harrison, who is your Rookie of the Year?
I mean, I was hoping we wasn't doing this show at this point of the year, and I was hoping it would have been Quitty Pay at the end of it. He's dealt with injury. So is Deo. We saw towards the end of the year, you could see flashes of him. Maybe sometime with Big Robert M in the off season, helping to finesse that move. I can't even.
Is that hard? So in joint second place with 5% each, we've got Deo, we've got Danny Pinter, and Will Fries.
Big Pinter. I wasn't sure. I couldn't remember if he was a rookie, to be honest, or a sophomore. But it's got to be Pinter for that big catch for me. Like.
And then in first place with 77%, Quitty Pay.
Yeah, he's the only one who's
really played a snap in, snap out.
That's no knock on Danny Pinter.
No.
Let's be honest. When you are a left guard and you're behind Quentin Nelson, you're hardly going to get all the game time in the world.
Yeah, no, he stepped up a few times at centre.
Made a big
it was a very poor rookie class.
Yeah, but Mr. Pay, Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
I hope we see more out of him next season. I was really expecting more, but
no one really produced on the edge.
No, and you know, maybe we was a bit too trigger happy in getting rid of Autry or Houston. Maybe we could have just kept one of them. But it is what it is. Can't change it now.
No. And I think when Flukes goes with a different scheme, you know, you never know what's going to happen with them, do you? You know, Is it a scheme? We don't know. Really enjoyed this next round. Most improved player. You know, something that we come on to quite a lot during the season. So, Harrison, who is your most improved player of the year?
It's as simple as 3 syllables, mate. Rock Yassin.
Okay.
Simple as that.
I remember last off season, you know, I think we both said, you know, he could be really good if he stopped getting the flags, if he stopped getting so handy. And you know, and I think that worked. So in third place with 11% is Isaiah Rogers. Second notable mention of the evening.
Yeah.
With 33%, Michael Pittman Jr.
Is he improved or is he just being targeted more?
That's exactly that, because we have him high. And with 55%, it is our favourite cornerback, Rock Ya-Sin.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, this year he's been absolutely phenomenal. Obviously, he doesn't get the credit he deserves because he's on the Colts, and he's not on a media team. If he was on the Cowboys or the Giants or something, or the Bucks with Brady, it'd be a different series. But Chris Ballard said it, didn't he? He said he needs to get rid of the silly penalties. He said corners can have a tough second year. And again, it came true. He said, he sort of just watched this space, and with Royds running off a cliff in performance, he's making a shout for that number one corner spot.
No, definitely. No, definitely agree. So on to the favourite game of the season. You had 17 to pick from this year. Harrison, what was your game of the season?
I mean, the Cards was an excellent one, but it's got to be the Patriots. Got to love getting one over on the old enemy.
So Arizona Cardinals, they did get 5% of the vote, but in third place, we've got the 49ers with 11%. That was week 7, 30-18 win. In second place with 16% was week 11's matchup versus the Bills in the 41-15 win.
Yeah.
And with 66%, no surprising, week 15, 27-17 win versus the New England Patriots. That was kind of a gimme, I thought, that one.
Yeah, and it was going great at that point, and it was winning the Super Bowl at that point.
We were there, mate. We were absolutely having all of it off.
I just learned how it felt to be a Tottenham fan for once, because we just absolutely bottled it, and rightly so. We took there and took all the slack and stick from everyone. I think Dan Orlovsky nearly had a full meltdown, and it just sucked. But you've got to look on the positives, haven't you? We've always been positive, or tried to be on this show. So yeah, beating the Patriots is always nice.
It was, and when I actually go back and look at it, we had some nice games this year.
Yeah, of course we did.
It wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So, your favorite play from the 2021 season? I couldn't remember what year it was then.
It's from the same game. I mean, you could put the Wentz drive against the Cards, and that was an absolutely beautiful throw. But it's got to be the same game, and it's got to be JT breaking it.
Well, Harrison, you are a man of the people. I think what we've learned from today, you are a man of the people. In third place with 5%, it was Carson Wentz's touchdown to Patman against the Arizona Cardinals in week 16, which was beautiful. With 44%, it was the block punt versus the Patriots.
Yeah.
And with 50%, it was JT's run versus the Patriots. That 70-odd yards, wasn't it?
2 people met him in the A-gap, and he just went, "No, see ya." And he was looking at the sideline and still running, just like, "Do I go down?" And nobody could track him.
That's when people are otherworldly. So yeah, it was, again, you could have picked any of them 3 as kind of game changing, and certainly that kind of standout point. So looking to next year, the player you are most looking forward to watching?
The player next year, I want to see more of Julian Blackman. I like him. I think he's a great player. I want to see what Dayo's got, just because I don't feel like we've seen him. Before his injury in college, he was a first-round pick. Chris Ballard sort of said he couldn't believe his luck that Dayo was still there in the second. and he showed it again that he wasn't scared to draft someone who had injuries or is injury prone. And I don't know if I'm looking forward to this, but I just need him to do this. I need Paris Campbell to have a good year. He just needs to, because we're not going to move on from him because we just don't have the depth to. Maybe we got more from Zach Pascal this year or someone else. I'd be saying move on from him, but it's hard to say this, but I don't feel like we can waste a draft pick on a wide receiver. Unless someone's there in the second round that shouldn't be there, then we can't waste a draft pick on a wide receiver. So I need my boy PC. He needs to step up. He needs to prove why he was a first round pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about yourself?
For me personally, Blackman and Wentz.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of Blackman and what he can offer, and just looking forward to Wentz's development in this 17-0 season we're going to have.
Yeah.
So from the votes, a special mention needs to go to Derek Carr for 5% of the votes. I think this went out the night. People were kind of talking about it. In joint second, with 11% each, we had Julian Blackman, Michael Pittman, JT, and Michael Strahan, or Strachan, as I like to call him. Mm-hmm. And the winner with 27% is Quitty Pay. Mm-hmm. So people are obviously expecting him to step up next year. He's had a year's development, and
this is where he needs to go now. He just needs to go now. That he needs to stop trying to be too clever. This isn't college football. You're not just gonna outsmart the guy in front of you.
It's got to be everything.
Just be ruthless. He's got to be ruthless. He's got to just run through him. Even if he takes a couple of penalties hitting a quarterback, just run through him. Yeah. You could say that's undisciplined or whatever, but we're showing so less of aggression on that defensive line. It's so frustrating.
Yeah. No, I get that.
But yeah.
But as I say, hopefully with a new defensive coordinator, hopefully with a new scheme, he'll be a different guy. So as we go on to the next two, so the next one is favorite Colts fan. Also, we follow loads on Twitter. There's loads out there. So do you have anyone specific that you enjoy following? Any fans you enjoy kind of talking to?
For me, it's got to be Tom. Just because he's always in the show at some point.
He did get one vote.
Yes, there you go, Tom. To be honest, mate, I love the Coltsnation. As wishy-washy as that sounds, and yeah, I can't really single anyone out because I've had fun this year. This is the first year this has really taken off for us. It was sort of done towards the end of last year and the off season, so this has been our first full year. It's just been fantastic.
We've learnt lots, haven't we?
Yeah.
And there's more to come. So our top three. So in third place was Pat McAfee.
Pat is
with 9% of the vote.
He's a living legend, old Pat. Could do with his energy in the building sometimes.
Absolutely. In second place, with 11%, is a guy called Rick Stevens. Also goes by Colts Caveman.
The Colts Caveman, yes. I've started interacting with him. It was more towards the end of the season. I started.
Rick's a good guy. Massive Colts fan. He's always talking about his wife. I've had a few chats with him over the years. Good guy. And with 16% is Mike Bostic, who also known as Cloney Dungy.
Cloney Dungy.
The horn master, the bus driver.
Who didn't he? He was our person who read out our draft pick, no?
Yes. Yeah. Looks very much like Tony Dungy. Again, another guy who I've been speaking to over the last kind of few years, and I thought it was nice to get more of a personal touch in there. It's quite funny. You could see who voted for themselves, like Nate from who we had on a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Cody Felger voted obviously for himself. Tom, I assume, voted for himself. UK Colts fan, which I assume was Elliot, voted for himself. It was, and to be fair, there's quite a lot of people that voted for themselves. It was quite nice to see.
Yes.
And then, which was probably one of my favourite, and the last award of the night, is favourite Colts reporter. Any notable mentions for yourself? You like kind of reading and listening to and watching?
I mean, I've always been a big fan of Pat, who isn't, you know, it was, everyone sort of felt he stepped away from the game too early. He's just electric, and he's a couple of shitty action movies away from being the next Rock. So
that is a fair point. Well, Pat McAfee only got one vote in this.
Oh man! But
in third place, joint second place. Well, we'll put Stephen Holder in third, 16%.
Yeah.
In second place was our friend of the show, Lawrence Owen.
Yeah, big shout out to Coltsnation.
Absolute great guy. Puts a lot of effort, puts a lot of energy into it. And then this is probably my favourite as well, with 22%. Kevin Bowen, former Colts employee, obviously now works for 1070 The Fan.
Yeah, I mean, like we said, and I've said it loads of times, you know, the Coltsnation is a weird one. It's one big weird family. And we argue with each other over Twitter, which fan base doesn't. But as soon as sort of week one comes of the new season, everyone pulls in the same direction. You know, we might disagree or not like certain people, but it never seemed to turn toxic through the season. And what I mean by that is you look at what the Dallas Cowboys players, families receiving threats and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
You know, I've never seen that from the Coltsnation. I've never seen. You look at what they've done in the community with the Kick the Stigma, with the BLM protest marches. I know that brings a whole other world into it. But the rookies were out there cleaning up after the wrong people did damage in them protests. So you look at what Jim Irsay and Frank Reich have really tried to push this year, and that's togetherness. And, you know, it's easy for us to sit here and say everyone should be vaccinated. Players not being vaccinated cost us a place in the playoffs. But we live in a democracy, and you can't be mad when somebody doesn't choose your way of democracy. And it hurt us now, but Chris Ballard not forcing anyone to get vaccinated is going to reap the rewards in the long term.
No, definitely. And as I said, I want to talk about this. This is going to be my Carson Wentz thing now until April the 1st. Okay, I'm not going to talk about the Colts quarterback situation anymore. Anyone tries to talk about it on the street, anyone tries messaging me, I'm just going to ignore you. Right? You can come to me and talk about, like as I said, we've always had our messages open for, you know, any mental health reasons or just if anyone wants to chat. If you bring up Carson Wentz and our quarterback situation, I will delete you, I will block you, I will find you, and I will murder you.
For anyone who works for the GMP from where I live, he's not being serious. YouTube, he's not being serious, so you don't need to monetize this.
Chris Ballard can do what he wants. Frank Reich can do what he wants. Carson Wentz is our quarterback, and that's who I expect to see next season.
Yeah.
Everything else is hypothetical, and I'm fed up of seeing Derek Carr, you know, Tom Brady, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning coming back, Phillip Rivers coming back, you know, Joe Montana coming back. You know, no, Carson Wentz is our quarterback. We've got nobody else, and that's who we're going with. I'm looking forward to it. I'll still wear the number 2 jersey through the offseason in support for my ginger brother. You know, he looks like Prince Harry. He's my prince. He is your prince. He is our prince. And he's going to lead us to a 17-0 season next year. End of. No more. Thank you very much.
Can I just say, guy?
It depends.
Where was that from, Frank Reich? That's what annoys me. Where was that from, Chris Ballard?
Because if they're talking about Carson Wentz, they're not talking about them, are they? So they're not going to be talking about them being on the hot seat. It's going to be about Carson Wentz going to get so it's self-preservation.
Back your boy, man. You went and throw them picks away. Back your boy. And the last thing on the QB situation from me, I was ready to ride the Eastern train. That's all I'm saying. I was ready to ride the Eastern train. But no, like we said, I've had my say on Wentz and where I think he can prove. I can't even throw a 10-yard pass, mate, so I've got no place to criticise. His left-hand shovel passes are probably my good passes. But
you don't get paid millions of pounds a year to do that, though.
No. But yeah, there's no point thinking about it now. There's so way. I bring up Andrew Luck because look at what can happen in that close to the season starting. So just forget about it for now. Yeah, that's my last bit on Wentz.
Good. We can draw the line. I'm not talking about that again until October 1st.
October 1st.
I mean, jeez, April the 1st even.
Yeah. I mean, was there any more awards, or was that it?
No. That's all the awards. We're going to do similar. It'll be more condensed for the end of season we'll do a Super Bowl week.
Yeah.
I was just going to say this week. Obviously, you got the 4 games coming up. Any you're looking forward to? Anyone you're not going to watch? Any? Do you want me to run through them to let you know when they are? I
don't know if I'm going to watch them. Busy weekend getting stuff ready for the new arrival. So I don't know if I'm going to watch any in particular, but as long as Cincy wins, I'm happy. Fuck the Titans.
Absolutely, mate. That's the first game on the Saturday, 9:30. So by Sunday morning, we should be happy.
Yeah. Other than that, I couldn't really care less. I'm neutral as far as any other game goes.
Yeah.
My one last question for you, because I thought about this recently. So we consider Chuck Pagano a great defensive-minded coach, not a great head coach. We consider Frank Reich a great offensive-minded coach, not head coach. Do you think Frank Reich does better with the Andrew Luck offense, or do you think Chuck Pagano does better with the Darius Leonard defense?
Oh my God, that is horrendous. You don't ask a guy that on live YouTube, do you?
I think it's a posed question. At first you could say what you're on about Frank Reich does better, but when you think about it,
no, look at Ray Lewis is better than Darius Leonard, but Darius Leonard's younger and he's more athletic. He's bigger. I'd love to have seen Pagano and Darius Leonard.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
We saw a Frank Reich, Peyton Manning. Obviously, no, he wasn't the offensive coordinator, but he was the quarterback coach.
Yeah.
So we saw that for a bit. And would Reich make Andrew Luck any better? No. Andrew Luck was a victim of circumstance of that arsehole Grigson and his lack of developing an offensive line to support.
Look at what's happening to Baker Mayfield.
Exactly that,
Yeah.
But Baker's definitely not an Andrew Luck.
No.
Disagree. But he's getting destroyed. And where is Grigson now?
The Browns.
Killing another young lad.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant question, though.
Yeah, it's a good one, isn't it?
Yeah, had to really think. Yeah, but I love Pagano, and I'd love to have seen him with a Darius.
Yeah, and just to end off this show, obviously this season didn't end the way we wanted. Like you said, it's not been the funnest season to watch. It sort of summed up the Colts this year, and when you look back over the whole season record, it's just completely bipolar. from the first quarter to the fourth quarter in every game. You don't know what you're going to get. They need to find a way to iron that out next year, because if we start 1-5 again, we won't be given the same cushion.
Yeah.
And they won't be getting the same cushion. And with Frank Reich throwing his hat in the ring for Carson Wentz to come here and giving up a first, we know Chris Ballard loves his draft picks. We know he would do anything to get more draft picks.
Yeah.
Frank Reich's got to be feeling a little bit of pressure now.
I think they all are. I think they've all got to be. I'd love to have been a fly on the wall with Frank Reich, Ballard, and Irsay had that meeting.
Yeah. Well, Chris Ballard described it as an arse chewing, didn't he?
Yeah, and it was right. When we're, I think us as humans, we always scrutinize ourselves, and we should always kind of look at how we react and how we do things, and hopefully there is now a positive reaction.
Yeah. But until next season, 17-0, Super Bowl champs, Carson Wentz MVP, just whatever else you want to throw in there because positivity.
Exactly, positive mental attitude. So should we get together quickly next week just to reminisce and talk about how great the Bengals win was over the Titans?
Of course. Yes. All day, every day.
No, good man. Well, I will tweet out the winners from the selections, and obviously you can retweet, and we'll get Elliot to do it from the main account.
Yeah.
Obviously the winners get nothing but our respect and adulation.
Respect.
Hey, mate, Matt Eberflus getting second spot in Coach of the Year.
Yeah. One day, mate, this will be the new Heisman.
I love it. Absolutely love it. All right then, mate. Have a great week.
You too. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks, Tom, for joining. See you all later.